Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned into the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. Hey, Charlie, I got a question for you.
What's up, MJ?
What makes us an official source of UCCS Sports?
We have the coolest opening ever. So you know why it's so cool? We played it twice.
That's right.
That's why we're the best.
We play the opening in the middle of the show as well. That's
exactly.
So cool.
We play it twice.
So I got a question for you. What makes us an official source of UCCS Sports?
Having Jared Verner, the track and field expert, as well as the SID of the year.
All-district hurdler?
All-district hurdler.
And Sports Information Director of the Year in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. That Jared Verner?
The resume just keeps going, but
no,
yes.
He's not here today. He is going to be joining us another day. Oh, no. Actually, he's here with us right now. Jared, can you hear me?
I can.
Peekaboo, I see you. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing very well. I'm missing Friday's weather. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it looked like it was summertime. It was like 80 degrees. Oh, my goodness. But we do want to talk about some UCCS track and field, Jared, because they were certainly in action as the men and the women traveled to Adams State for the Adams State NCAA qualifier, and then the women participated in the Don Kirby Invitational. Let's talk about a couple things to start things off, Jared, if we can. Kayla Wooten and Chelsea Martis, both top 20 performances in the 800 meter this weekend. So let's start there. That sounds pretty promising to me.
Well, and it is, and it's one of those things where we're getting kind of into the last 2 weeks before you can get a qualifying time for nationals. And I've always top 10 you're always pretty set. Top 15 is usually pretty good. And so 18th and 20th, which is where Kayla and Chelsea are right now, they're kind of on the bubble. But I was kind of explaining to some people today, the NCAA takes a total number of athletes. And so if there's a lot of athletes who double up in a lot of events, that might allow the NCAA to go deeper in a few other events. Kind of depends on where those natural splits are when they come to the selection process in a couple weeks. But it's one of those things I think both of them need to improve, but for it to be in the top 20 in any statistical category. I mean, it'd be the same thing as like a top 20 scorer in the Division II or something like that. And so to have two athletes in the top 20 just this weekend, you still got a number of athletes who are still ranked nationally in their respective events as well. They didn't run those times this weekend, but they ran previously. So Mount Lion's in a very good position for NCAAs as it comes down to pipe.
How about Chris Smith, Jared, with a provisional qualifying time in the 200-meter dash? That also sounds very promising. Tell us all about that.
It is. I mean, he finished second. He won his heat, but finished second overall. There's an Air Force sprinter in another heat who ended up having a faster time. So I'd be really interested to see what Chris's time could have been if he was going head-to-head against that Air Force runner from the other heat. But finally able to get that provisional qualifying mark for Chris. He's going to need to improve on that mark if he's going to go to nationals. But it's one of those things. He's very high in the conference. Consistency has been his key, at least in the 60-meter dash, ran the exact same time between the prelims and the finals, 6.83 seconds, I believe. And so both of those would have been provisional times if he had not run provisional times already this year. So that was very encouraging to see that Chris was finally able. He came really close to getting that provisional time the week before at Colorado Boulder and be able to get that at Adams. And to do that when they add time at altitude versus taking away time like they do in the distance races. So for Chris to be able to do that, very encouraging. Again, he's going to be at Joe Davies this week in undersized track before he's able to run a 200 flat track for conference here in about, 13, 12 days or something like that.
Sounds like he's really competing against himself at this point in time.
He is, and to win your heat, you always kind of want to be able to run against the fastest athletes. And so he had that Air Force sprinter in the second heat. Chris was in the third heat. And again, so I would have been really interested to see if those two athletes could have been sprinting against each other, what they could have done running side by side.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to watch. Usain Bolt, and who else is near him in speed? Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie and Usain Bolt. Okay, so Jared, that was at the Adams State NCAA qualifier, right?
That was at Adams State. So the women just had distance runners running in New Mexico, and those were not the only ones that had provisional qualifying marks. Aubrey Templeton in the 3,000-meter run. That was on Friday night. You also had Molly Klotz in 800 ran a qualifying time. And then back at Adams State, Deshaun Alcock came within an inch, 2 centimeters, of getting a provisional height in the high jump. I believe it was 2 inches better than what he had jumped this season already, so that was a very good improvement for him. Had very good times in the hurdles. So it's a very good signs to see as we're getting closer and closer to this conference championship here in a couple weeks.
There's something about Deshaun that I'd like to point out. It is 6 feet 7 inches, Charlie, is how high he jumped in the high jump.
So he jumped over Blendev
He
Dealey.
jumped over me. And then, not on top of that, but he improved by 2 inches since the last time. 2 inches is a lot
It's a
in
game of
track and
inches.
field.
That's what they say.
Yeah, well, in a different sport, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's very hard to jump 2 inches in one meet like that. So it's very
I could
impressive.
jump 2 inches right now. I'm sure I can clear that.
Okay,
6'7", I'm not clearing that.
we'll get
2
you.
inches?
We'll get you a trampoline.
Okay, deal. Jared, were there any other notable results from this past weekend? As we know that there was certainly quite a lot of action between the 2 events. Any other real notable results that we want to cover?
I mean, those were the last ones. I mentioned a hurdler, Matt Hansen. He was the one who cut more than a tenth of a second off his time. So that was very encouraging for him. Right now, he would score points at conference. And a lot of different things. Josie Eder won the pole vault, matched her season best mark with in that event. And then just a lot of things to work going for Mountain Lions' favor. They're back at Colorado Mines this weekend at the Joe Davies invite, and then after that it's championship season. And then they have conference indoor, and then whoever makes the nationals goes to nationals, and then we're outside.
That sounds exciting.
And all of a sudden we're done with track and field. It seemed like we just
We just
started.
started.
Yeah, we just started about a month ago. It seems like not even.